right. So the first question, how has spiritual fatherhood been essential to serving your people? Like if you have a school, you work with a certain group of people, but especially for you, like you grew up here. I know you talked about that a little bit last time we filmed, but how that fatherhood dynamic works, especially here at Saint Peter.
Spiritual fatherhood at Saint Peter Claver is part of why I'm even here. Growing up with a pastor who was a spiritual father, not only to those who walked through the doors of St. Peter Claver, but everybody in this neighborhood. And seeing him loving the people as they are and where they were, caring for them, not just in their spiritual needs, right? Not just praying for them, but I think of even my friends and myself, the number of people that make sure that they have what they need for school, that they had a place to eat, right? That, okay, I see that you are not listening to your parents. Let's sit down and have a conversation. And so that image of priesthood was always formative for me. And so coming back home and knowing that that's what the people of God here not only were used to, long for, was sort of expected for a priest, it's like, oh, great. I don't mind getting into the mess of your life, yes, spiritually, but just being there for you, being present, spending time with you, having the conversations with the middle schoolers and teenagers of it's time to get your life together, or just journeying with people, not just on from a sort of macro level, no, like. Spiritual fatherhood incarnates the priesthood. It makes it tangible, makes it real. It pushes the man to step outside of himself, to really be one with his people, but to journey with them. How do you do that? By really entering into their lives outside of the doors of the church. And I got to see it, and it excites me to be able to do it in a place where I saw it and saw it done so well.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Just living just like your pastor did for you.
Yeah, doing what so many have done for me. So many priests who did not mind getting to know me as a person, but I think that there's something. That's the beauty of fatherhood, right? Of it pushes you to know the person that you hold in your hands. To know the person you hold in your hands, and that image. I have multiple images of like my father and my grandfather holding us in their hands and then looking at us for the first time. Well, yes, I hold the Lord in my hands, but I also hold his people. And so to get to know them as they are, how they are, is but an exercise of spiritual fatherhood.
Amen. And how do you see, I'm actually going to sit over here. Oh, my old knees can't do it. How do you see, especially how do you see God working in the combination, I guess, of your spiritual fatherhood and the natural fatherhood of biological or adoptive fathers in your parish? How is that working together for the, for the glorification of God and sanctification of man?
How do I see it working? again, I see it working in the relationships. For example, my family comes to Mass here, and I'm blessed that I get to see my family every week. Or when I get to see them every week, because I will call them out. But my older brother, biological father, my nephew, is also my godson. But every week, when I am processing out, he makes his way to the end of the pew, and he walks out with me. And to so many people who see that, it's like, oh, that's so cute. Look at Father in his shadow. But for me, it is giving access to my nephew, but even more so to the other children, that like they have a priest, like, and that's their priest. But it also shows to my brother, to the other parents, we have a priest who is our priest, who is willing and able to walk with us, journey with us, but to show us how to love our children, right? Something as simple as showing up for an art show means the world to a high schooler, but it affirms for the parents, affirms for the father, just the importance of showing up, just being present. It teaching them how to be present. Yeah, Father has millions of things to do in a day, but I'd much rather be present to you as you have your play, or as you are preparing to go off to college, or just to sit down at table. It's just showing people the need and the necessity and the value, the joy of just being present, and being accessible. As parents, as fathers in a particular way. Because men have this thing of like, we sort of like emotionally standoffish, right? Like you can't get too close. As a priest, I get to show men, it's okay to let people get close to you. It's okay to show the compassionate, tender side of things, and still be firm, right? And still be direct, because people receive that firmness, that directness more because you've been tender and gentle with them, right? That lion in the pulpit, but a lamb in the confessional example, that image of, yeah, I will make sure you know and give you the tough love that's necessary, but I'm gonna also cry with you, right? I'm gonna laugh with you. I'm gonna poke at you, because that's what fathers do.
Man, that's beautiful. I'm gonna scooch this up a little bit. And then the last question that I had written down was so since this is Office of Vocations, we're hopefully gonna have like young men asking the question when they see this, like, what am I hope they don't ask this question, but they may ask this question, like, am I losing fatherhood by, discerning the seminary and discerning the priesthood? Like, how can we talk to them and talk to that fear in order to dispel it, like, from your just experience of spiritual fatherhood?
Yeah. For guys who are discerning, I understand all all too well that feeling of like losing out on having your own children, your own progeny, your own family, right? I think about the fact that I named all my children, right? But as a priest, while you don't have biological children, the exercise of fatherhood, yes, looks different, but the Lord gives you many children. Children that are older than you, children that will one point or another be your grandchildren. The Lord fills that void. And while, you're not getting up every day and changing the diapers or getting up every day and pouring the bowl of cereal, you do get to watch your children grow. You get to journey with them, to be at those milestone moments in life. And even sometimes be at at the most difficult and challenging moments, to have those one-on-one conversations, those heart-to-hearts, to give and pour out, those nuggets of wisdom, and even sometimes even embarrass them. I think of one of our high schoolers. She was marching in the Mardi Gras parade, and I'm a cheer her on. She was so embarrassed. She's like, "Oh my God, yeah, I'm gonna make a scene because that's one of my children, right?" But the beauty of being able to do that as a priest, wow, no, it's not an every day in the house sort of situation. You get to experience it every day, and the joy of being a priest, being a father, praying for and with your children that God has given to you, placed in your hands, and are always on your heart.
Well, anything else that you thought of that you want to add, or that was beautiful. So.
I think the only other thing is, as with any parental role, as with being a biological father, being a spiritual father, there's no manual to it. You get up and you figure it out every day, and I'm figuring it out every day. Like, there are days where it looks good, and I think I'm doing it right. There are days where I'm like, oh, shouldn't have said that, shouldn't have done that. But the beauty of it is that there's a grace that comes with the priesthood that allows for you to learn, allows for you to forever be a student. But I think the best example, the best way to learn spiritual fatherhood is allowing myself as a priest, to be a son. To be a son of the Father, of God the Father. Be a son of my parents. To allow yourself to be a son, so that seeing how the Lord is loving you into life, seeing how the Lord is raising you up, seeing how the Lord is journeying with you, you're then able to reciprocate that, and you're able to journey with others, because you have allowed yourself to be fathered, to allowed yourself to be a son of the perfect Father.
Amen.
Yeah.